Hey there, fellow radicalist, history buffs, curious cats, and anyone who clicked on this video because the thumbnail was just too irresistible. Welcome back to History Hilarity series, the show where we take the dusty old scrolls of history, give them a shake, and turn them into something you might actually want to watch. Today we're cranking the time machine way back, like before the wheel was a thing back. We're diving into Mesopotamia, the ancient equivalent of Silicon Valley. Except instead of apps and gadgets, they were inventing, well, civilization. First things first, location. Mesopotamia, which is a fancy Greek way of saying land between rivers dope, was nestled snugly between the Tigris and Euphrates. Sounds peaceful, right? Wrong. These rivers were like nature's version of unpredictable roommates. One day they're chill, and the next they're flooding your crops like it's nobody's business. Ancient farmers here probably had more anxiety than a modern-day college student during finals a week. Let's talk about the Sumerians. These folks were the original geeks of the ancient world. While other people were busy figuring out how to hunt and gather, the Sumerians were like, why don't we just invent writing and keep track of stuff? And just like that, cuneiform was born. A writing system that looks like a bunch of chicken scratches, but trust me, it was revolutionary. They used cuneiform for everything, keeping inventory, writing epic poems, and probably leaving passive-aggressive notes to their neighbors. Dear Uruk, stop stealing our irrigation water. Sincerely, Sumer. Seriously though, cuneiform was the first step toward humans becoming the paperwork-loving creatures we are today. Thanks a lot, Sumerians. And let's not forget about their architecture. The Sumerians built ziggurats, massive multi-storied temples that were basically the ancient version of skyscrapers. They said it was to get closer to the gods, but we all know it was also to show off. Nothing says we're better than you, like a giant mud brick pyramid towering over your neighbor's mud hut. Section 3. Babylon, the ancient Vegas. Next stop, Babylon. If Mesopotamia had a nightlife hotspot, it would be Babylon. Picture this. Bright blue gates, lavish palaces, and the hanging gardens, which were supposedly one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. I say supposedly because, much like your friend's Instagram photos, there's some serious debate over how much was real and how much was, well, ancient Photoshop. Babylon wasn't just about looking good, though. They had brains behind the beauty. Enter King Hammurabi, the man with a plan and a stone tablet the size of a small car. His claim to fame, the Code of Hammurabi. Picture it, 282 laws carved into a giant stone pillar with rules on everything from property rights to, you guessed it, irrigation disputes. It's like the ancient world's answer to Judge Judy, but with fewer commercials. The most famous part of his code, an eye for an eye. Sounds harsh, right? But in Hammurabi's defense, it was a step up from the previous system of whoever has the biggest stick wins. And let's be real, at least with this rule, everyone had a fair shot. Until they didn't. Section 4. Assyrians, the bad boys of Mesopotamia. Now, let's talk about the Assyrians, the ancient world's version of the tough kids in school. These guys weren't messing around. If you lived in Mesopotamia and saw the Assyrian army on the horizon, you knew it was time to either surrender or make a run for it, and fast. The Assyrians were the masters of siege warfare. They had all the cool gadgets, battering rams, siege towers, and something we like to call psychological warfare. Nothing says we're coming for you like giant carvings of your enemies getting, well, let's just say, creatively punished on your palace walls. It's like they invented horror movies, but with more history and fewer popcorn breaks. But they weren't just about brute force. The Assyrians also built the first known library in Nineveh. That's right. When they weren't busy conquering everything in sight, they were organizing information and preserving knowledge. Talk about multitasking. They were like the ancient version of work hard, play harder. Section 5. Persians, the empire collectors. Finally, we have the Persians, the ultimate empire collectors. By the time they rolled into Mesopotamia, they were already on a roll, snapping up empires like they were rare Pokemon. But unlike the Assyrians, the Persians had a different approach to ruling. Instead of smashing everything to bits, they were like, hey, you can keep your local customs, just make sure to send those taxes to us, okay? Cyrus the Great, the founding father of the Persian Empire, was a master of diplomacy. He was less about off with their heads and more about let's all get along as long as you pay up. Under his rule, the Persian Empire became the largest the world had ever seen. They had roads, postal systems, and even something resembling a credit system. The Persians were basically the ancient version of Amazon Prime. Efficient, widespread, and always delivering. So while the Persians might not have been the first to rule Mesopotamia, they were definitely the most organized. And let's be honest, who doesn't appreciate a well-run empire? Outro. And that, my friends, is Mesopotamia in all its glorious, chaotic, and surprisingly relatable messiness. From the Sumerians writing their first ever to-do lists to the Persians managing an empire like pros, this ancient region was where it all began. So next time you're stuck in traffic or your Wi-Fi cuts out, just remember it could be worse. You could be trying to balance an empire while fending off invaders and dealing with unpredictable rivers. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll never miss out on your next dose of ancient absurdity here on History Hilarity. Until next time, keep laughing, keep learning, and always remember, never trust an Assyrian with a battering ram.